Hi, my friends. It's Meredith, your evolutionary astrologer. And today is going to be a fascinating day. If you are a Virgo, if you have major planets in Virgo, your sun, your moon, your rising, your Venus, your Mercury, or if you have a stellium, that means three or more planets, or I would even say two planets in the sixth house, any sign, this video is for you. Or if the person or the people that you love have those placements, you want to watch this video because we're going to talk about the pain and the pitfalls, basically the suffering and the agony, the shadow side of Virgo inside loving them and relationships. So I'm going to give you 10 reasons why it is extremely painful at times to fall madly in love with a Virgo. Now, this is not the virtue video. This is not the virtue series. So if you want that series, I already have quite a few Virgo videos and you can watch my entire Virgo playlist. But I've got like 10 seduction techniques on how to make a Virgo fall madly in love with you inside that series. So go watch that video. I'm not trying to diss on my Virgos. I love my Virgos, but I do think it is very important. So you don't think you're going into like sheer madness, right? It's important to know why and how Virgos can be challenging inside relationships and challenging to love. By the way, this is not just sexual love that I'm talking about. This is loving a Virgo that's your child, your animal, your mother, your family, your brother. So you have to also remember the work that I do here on my YouTube channel. I tell you in almost every video, we don't do sun sign astrology. So I'm not just saying that every single Virgo is like this. As a matter of fact, you could be a very different kind of Virgo. And if you are interested in learning about Virgo, and if you listen to this video and you absolutely cannot relate, like this is not my lover, and this is definitely not me, I do not relate to this lady at all. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. Now you have to go get my Virgo masterclass at shopsoulnavigation.com and watch my entire 4-hour masterclass on Virgo. And then at the end, I do chart readings and I show you how complex astrology really is, but it really is not based on your sun sign. However, today we're going into the shadow side. So strap in, buckle up, and we're going to talk about why falling in love with a Virgo can be so hard, because we're going to look at the enigmatic heart of the zodiacs. Perfectionist. Yes, Virgo. Falling in love with Virgo is a journey lined with this exquisite beauty and these unexpected thorns. And Virgos, as you know, they are known for their intellect, their kindness, and their meticulousness. Virgos can show up and appear and look like just the ideal partner, yet beneath their calm and thoughtful exterior facade face lies a really complex tapestry made in self-doubt. I wasn't sure you were ready to hear that. Also inside that tapestry is very high standards and these emotional intricacies that can make loving them a real challenge and sometimes even an ache. You are not crazy if you're involved with a Virgo and you just feel like, wow, this can be at times really, really tough. So here are 10 reasons why you can be feeling this bitter sweetness of loving your Virgo. The first is the paradox of the perfectionist. Yes, they have a very deep relationship with perfection. They chase perfection for much of their lives. So if you're involved with a young Virgo, you are involved with somebody who actually still believes in the cult of perfection. Like I can be perfect. My face can be flawless. My body can be perfect. My hair, my teeth, my eyes, my personality, my intelligence, right? And they have this unrelenting desire for perfection until one day they wake up and they realize, wow, I've been indoctrinated into something that's not even true. And in their lives, they demand perfection. And by extension, they want that from you too, until they wake up. So if you're involved with somebody who is over 55 years old, let me know. Have they given up their road to perfection? If this is your parent or your lover or yourself, have you given this up? because this perfection and this relationship to perfection is a mirage. And it takes a very long time for Virgo to get so beaten down, so worn down. If it doesn't kill them, the perfection, then eventually, hopefully they get out and they start to equalize or balance their relationship to perfection, because the pursuit leaves them in a chronic feeling of inadequacy and a perpetual feeling of falling short. And then that is also transposed onto you, because they will start to notice your flaws under a magnifying glass, and they will really over exaggerate your flaws. And so Virgos themselves, for a very long time, are very rarely satisfied with themselves or their lives or their parents or their family or their relationship or you or just life or the world. And the critical eye of the Virgo can be a real guiding light and a source also, though, of very subtle pain. And especially for you, their critical eye can make you feel like you're under scrutiny or under chronic judgment. So if you ever like dating a quality control inspector disguised as your sexy hot lover, you might really love being in love with a Virgo. Okay, so the second thing is, I think it's very painful for the rest of the zodiac to deal with Virgo's emotional reserve and their guarded hearts. So, Virgos are not known for wearing their hearts on their sleeves. As a matter of fact, when I have given the Virgos in my life a compliment, they joke it away. They go, "Oh, stop, 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 stop. Oh, bring it on. Up, stop, up." Right. And they joke and they can't take it for real. And if I'm too mushy, guess what happens then? They don't believe me. They say, "Oh, you're so full of flattery. Oh, false flattery. Oh, Meredith's spinning." No, I'm actually not. I actually meant what I said. And I don't say what I don't mean. So they're not known to wear their hearts on their sleeves, and they have these guarded hearts where they're really uncomfortable with euphoric compliments or like this effervescent side of a bubbly personality that just embraces them and loves them and wants to hug them and just adore them out loud publicly. They almost cannot handle it, so they tend to overanalyze and overthink their feelings and your compliments, and they keep their vulnerabilities really hidden behind this facade of composure, behind this locked and bolted door. And this emotional reserve can make it really difficult to connect with them emotionally, to connect with them from this deep, soulful level. They almost won't allow it to happen. It's better, if you want to share your feelings, it's better to write it in a card and tell them, read it once you get home. And then they'll just send you a quick text message that says, "Thanks for the card. That was sweet." And I think they still don't really believe it. I don't know why. If you're a Virgo, why are compliments hard? Will you leave a comment for us all to learn from? Like, I love a compliment, but Virgos, I'm not a Virgo. Virgos really struggle with compliments. They don't believe it. They're too cynical for them. They think you're bullshitting. I don't know what it is, but it's too vulnerable. It's too close. So loving a Virgo can feel like you're reaching out to somebody through a glass wall. Like, hello, are you in there? You can see their warmth and you know they're sweet, but you can't quite touch it. Yeah. So if you ever catch a Virgo alphabetizing the spices in your kitchen during a heartfelt conversation, this little diversion, don't take it personally. It's just their way of saying, "I care. I really do. I just need to put the cumin in the right place." Right? Like, they will create a diversion. They will. You watch, start complimenting your Virgos effusively and watch them start wanting to tinker with their motorcycle and pull the whole entire engine apart while you're telling them how much you love and adore them. Okay, number three, I think it's really hard to be around people who just have this relentless self criticism because the other zodiac signs, the 11 other signs, actually interpret that as, oh, they need my approval. They need more reassurance. They need me to compliment them more. And that's not the case. But I would say a very big defining trait for Virgo is self criticism. And while their self-criticism is how they motivate themselves. It's like how they kick themselves in the ass to get down and give me 10 more push-ups. And it inspires them to grow and to evolve. It makes them remarkably hard on themselves. And if you've ever been around somebody who is like calling their own selves names like, God, you're so fat, or you're so ugly, or while they're in the mirror putting on their makeup, or God, even self-talk, like it would be something like, God, Meredith, you're such a loser. Why did you drop the milk on the floor? Right? It's painful. You almost don't know how to react. And so when that inner critic takes hold, they also might want to withdraw, or they project their anxieties onto the world or the relationship. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. And you're like, I never even thought it was your fault. It slipped out of your hands. The milk glass had, it, yeah. So this dynamic can be absolutely exhausting for a partner who is trying to affirm them and support them and be the sunshine in their life when they just tear themselves down constantly. And it leaves you feeling helpless. And it really makes the other 11 zodiac signs kind of want to run away, and because they just can't quiet that critical voice that now is out loud, right? That deep self-loathing. And I'll tell you that comes from, I'll tell you, this is the shadow side. It comes from deep self-shame. And these people grew up. I want you to go watch my Virgo rising video. It was very painful for me to do. My rising series is very, very painful. You should watch all 12 signs if you really want to understand the depth of each of these signs. But it comes from shame. And this shame is something they were indoctrinated into. They were raised with this shame to feel appropriately shameful. Like there's Christian shame, you're born a sinner. There is Jewish shame, or I should say guilt, shame and guilt. So there's Christian guilt, there's Jewish guilt, there is Protestant guilt, there is every kind of religious guilt that you can imagine. And I will tell you that this guilt turns into shame, and then they become ashamed. So if you find yourself trying to reassure your Virgo partner that they did nothing wrong at the gathering, right? They did nothing wrong. Let's say you go to a party with your Virgo and you're like, you did nothing wrong, but the party didn't go quite as fun or as well as they had hoped. They're only going to lie in bed replaying every single detail of the party. When I walked in, when I said this, when I approached this person, and you are just not going to be able to convince them that somehow they did not embarrass themselves, or they didn't make a fool out of themselves. They can totally spin out, and they will just analyze to death what happened, what didn't happen, and what results they did not get. Well, she didn't compliment my dress, or she didn't do, they, oh my gosh. And then they can actually make up stories based on their own feeling of self doubt. Then they go to a party or a social event or just walking through their life, and they try to prove to themselves, see, I am fat. She didn't compliment me on my dress. Or see, I am not as smart as I thought I was. They all think that I'm dumb, and I'm not dumb because they didn't call on me to give the presentation. Oh, see, I got overlooked for the job. They don't think I'm good enough. They don't think I'm responsible enough. See, and none of that's true. There are other exterior reasons that have nothing to do with the Virgo, but they will spin out. So reassuring a Virgo, you just almost have no chance over their own self guilt, self criticism. It is relentless. And this is one of the terrible pitfalls. I'll tell you how to handle this is I don't really think you can. I think they just have to have more time getting confident. Just keep encouraging them to keep on trying. If they have a little Aquarius in their chart, there's a hopefulness that they can actually detach from the emotional feelings of that guilt, of that shame, that they are not perfect or they weren't chosen. Okay, so that leads me to this next one, and that is Virgos are ruled by Mercury. And we go deep, deep into it in my masterclass, which you can find at shopsoulnavigation.com. But Virgos are analytical to a fault. And being analytical, I want to tell you something. This video series is unedited. So you get to see me bloopers and all. So there's no graphics, there's no bells and whistles, there's no intro, extra, and nothing like that. So this is just raw, hardcore video footage in this series. So please forgive me for not having an editor on this and my little gaffes and my little pauses. And I do want to ask you if you would please like, subscribe, share, and comment. That is all free. If you would please do that, because my channel, I could not believe this when I saw it. Um, 60% of the people that watch my videos, and I do get a lot of views, they don't subscribe. And you're going to lose me. You're not going to find me in the rabbit hole of the algorithm of YouTube. So please subscribe to my channel. It means so much to me and help me get unburied on YouTube. So back to the analytics, and that was the algorithms analytics. They're like pushing me down. I don't know why, and kind of hiding me. So Virgos are ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the mind, and they are really sharp, intellectual, curious, and they are endlessly analytical. I mean, they can think about the equation in every which way. They're very high critical thinkers, so they always think of outcome. However, this analytical bent, if you will, can cross over into overthinking and even nitpicking every single little tiny detail. They will analyze every single granular of sand on the beach. They won't just see a beach. They don't see just a beach. They see the grains of sand on the beach. Yes. So they start doing this. They start nitpicking and seeing down into this like fine dust, if you will, both in themselves and in their partners. And so very simple moments, big picture moments can become really complicated. And romantic gestures might be dissected even, and they might even be searching for hidden meanings. So loving a Virgo sometimes means weathering the storm of questions, the storm of doubts, the storm of meticulousness and details that are so unimportant to you. Like you don't care about those details, but they do. And they can make even the most secure partner, that would be, the Virgo's partner, feels so scrutinized, picked apart, torn apart, like nothing is ever good enough. You question everything, you doubt everything. Come on, just roll with it, have fun. Like imagine if you were planning a romantic dinner to cook your Virgo partner a romantic dinner, and you have the candles lit, and you have that fun, I like French cooking music softly playing in the background, or chill out music, and everything seems so perfect, and suddenly your Virgo is enjoying it, and then all of a sudden they're like, why'd you choose these plates, or why didn't you add napkins, or what? I don't like, you expect me to eat a steak with no knife, like what's going on? And it's critical rather than, hey, could I have a steak knife? Right? It's just a critical answer, and an hour later you're like, what the heck? And you're defending like how you toss a salad while your Virgo is, I don't know, organizing something. But somewhere between the appetizer and the dessert, you've been thoroughly reviewed like a Yelp reviewer, right? And they're recreating the evening and kind of giving you, a 1 to 5 star rating. And so you feel scrutinized inside their analysis. Everything is analyzed. And so it feels detached, cold, and like you're involved with this outsider who is the critic, right? Like the film critic. Okay, number 5, I think Virgos really do fear vulnerability. So opening up and living with just a wide open heart is just not naturally, it's not natural for a Virgo soul. So you have to see, what other planets they have. If they have Gemini in their chart, that's probably really helpful. If they have Sagittarius in their chart, or Leo or Aries, that's going to be super helpful. Even Libra here can help. But this fear of vulnerability can have them really kind of emotionally cut off. And they fear being seen. The reason why they do this is because they fear, like, the fear of vulnerability. What is vulnerable? Vulnerable to them means weak. And they equate being weak as being imperfect, and they equate being strong as perfect. So when you really, really listen to my Virgo videos, listen to the syntax that I use. That's the word choice. Listen to my linguistics. Listen to literally the words I choose, because this is a Virgo trait. They choose their words very carefully. So if they are vulnerable, they are weak. If they are invulnerable, they are strong. And if they are weak, they are imperfect. And if they are strong, they lean more towards perfection. Now, Virgos never even reach perfection. It is this exalted state that they believe in, especially while they're younger, that they can attain. They think they can attain this. And so they don't want to be vulnerable. And so if they're vulnerable to you, then they start getting emotionally distant. They'd rather be emotionally distant and cold or cool than vulnerable and weak and imperfect, despite how much they actually really love you and care about you. I mean, these people actually really love you and sort of sometimes pretend like they are just all together with it. And they come across as if they don't really care. And so they are very deeply caring human beings, but their reluctance to share their inner world can leave you longing and aching and chasing greater intimacy, aching for a closeness that always is just maybe tomorrow, right? So for Virgos, opening up their hearts isn't just difficult, it is perilous. It's as if exposing their internal world will invite shame, guilt, chaos, disappointment. You will see their flaws. And so they might retreat through diversion techniques or tactics, like behind routines, or they immerse themselves in tasks rather than risk a raw confession or risk taking a risk. They're not going to risk by taking a risk. And so they leave their partners just yearning for a glimpse of themselves inside, like beneath the surface. The partners are just wanting to know, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? You know, I once asked my Virgo former boyfriend, what are you afraid of? He literally said, I'm absolutely afraid of nothing. You know, I was a Navy pilot. I am afraid of nothing. And I was like, that cannot be true. But that's what he wanted me to believe. That's what he wanted me to believe, that he was afraid of nothing. And in a small way, it kind of felt good. Wow, I'm with somebody who is afraid, who is fearless. It's not really true. We all have fears, right? So to love a Virgo is to practice patience, and you have to gently coax them from behind their defensives. They live behind their wall, their defense mechanism. And so you have to coax them without them knowing. And you have to understand that every small act of like honest vulnerability is a leap. It's a giant leap for mankind. No, it's a giant leap for courage for them. And sometimes the most profound moments with a Virgo are found in these rare admissions of doubt or longing or what's not quite right. It's these small little moments that mean the whole world. It's the grains of sand that you get. And so just cherish those, suck on those like candy, like butterscotch candy in your mouth, right? Like, oh, you confessed a vulnerability. Don't make it a big deal. Just suck on that thing. Like it is just the yummiest, yummiest. Oh, I love those butterscotch hard candies, don't you? I'm on a fast today, so I'm going to be thinking a lot about food. I'll make food metaphors in this video, but the quiet pauses between words, you know, is when you can also feel their emotions. And a lot of times Virgos won't say it, but they'll reveal it to you through a pause, right? Like through contemplation. Okay, number 6. So we're going to go back to criticism. But what I'm going to say is that their constructive criticism cuts deep because their conversation is extraordinarily direct. I mean, it's direct like an Aries, a Gemini, or a Sagittarius, and or a Capricorn. Even it is direct, and they don't have a lot of time. They're on self-improvement missions for you, for them, for other people, and for the world, for humanity. They are in the self-improvement, the you improvement, and the the world's improvement, right, mission. And so they don't got a lot of time to just do mushy transitional sentences like, hey, I really love that outfit that you wore, but could I make a suggestion? No, they're just going to go straight to, why are you wearing those pants? So they're very, very direct. And so I think that this directness around constructive criticism without transitional sentences makes it very difficult to be involved with a Virgo. Like, why'd you lie? Excuse me? Why are you a liar? Uh, why did you lie? When did I lie? Oh, and they say, well, you said there were 50 people there and there weren't, there were 12. Okay, I'm sorry. It felt like 50. It felt like 50. That elevator was cramped. I'm sorry. Maybe it was 12. I thought it just was suffocating. That's what I was trying to say. No, that's lying. Right? It's like, ay, 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 ay. So they're very direct, and their constructive criticism is, you're going to think I'm crazy, but that was actually well intentioned. They want me to like be moral, be virtuous, be right, be correct. Don't exaggerate. Exaggeration is a lie. And I say, I don't exaggerate. I color. I'm trying to give you a colorful feeling of, I'm trying to invoke your feeling. Well, don't do it with a lie. Oh my God. Okay. It wasn't a lie. It was coloring. It was coloring. No, that is a lie to a Virgo. So their constructive criticism is well intentioned, but it stings, it hurts, it rips people apart. And if you're sensitive, there are constant suggestions for how you could say things differently. You might be better. You can do things differently, can erode your entire confidence over time. Like, God, I didn't know this terrible thing about me. And they're well intentioned, they're well-meaning advice turns into a source of pain. And that's a real pitfall for Virgos. So their words are meant as helpful nudges towards your betterment. They can really, they can really hurt. And you can find yourself dwelling on those criticisms and those faults, and then all of a sudden you find yourself adopting them, and then you find them corroding your own self-image when you were perfectly fine with your self-image before you met the Virgo. Oh my God, right? It's exasperating, and this is the major pitfall, and this is the painful, probably the most painful part of dating, falling in love, falling madly in love with a Virgo, because now you're walking around with self-doubt, negative self talk, and second guessing your own instincts, because your Virgo partner is going to undermine your choices, because that's how they express love. Oh my God, that's how they love. I think Virgos should just love Virgos. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. But their love is expressed, just to be okay, please don't hate me. I know this series is going to invite a lot of people to be so upset with me. Remember, there are plenty of wonderful Virgos. Remember, Virgos can outgrow these tendencies. Remember, Virgos have other things in their chart that can save them. you know, Virgos can also just work on themselves to elevate the way they communicate and to become more sensitive. And the older the Virgo is, if they are healthy, the better they do with all this. But these are the lessons that Virgo are here to learn. Virgos are here to learn. And I want you to know about this shadow side of Virgo. So, are you involved with a healthy Virgo or an unhealthy Virgo? And are you a healthy Virgo or an unhealthy Virgo? And were you once an unhealthy Virgo? Did you once do these things or not? Are you like, I can't relate at all? And then go look and see if you have Pisces in your chart, right? Hmm. Cheers to my ice water. Um, so their love is expressed through a lens of improvement, offering you a lens of improvement, improvement techniques, even if you didn't ask for them. So navigating this requires a thick skin and a willingness to see the affection behind the Virgo scrutiny, recognizing that for a Virgo to even notice and comment is called Virgo caring. Yeah, that's Virgo caring about you. If they want to waste their time criticizing you, they believe in you. My God. They actually believe in you if they're criticizing you. Yet it's equally important to gently remind them that not every aspect of life needs to be optimized. Not every aspect of life needs to be your big lesson, and that just accepting and appreciating them, your non-Virgo partner is sometimes the greatest gift of all. Okay, number 7, an incessant need for order. Like, seriously, like these people, they probably don't even have OCD, but they feel like they have OCD compared to you. So Virgos are nurtured by routine, order, predictability, and practicality. And remember, this is the intelligent sign that is molded into Earth. So I really recommend, if you want to deeply understand Virgo and their virtues too, not their shadow side as much, but the totality of Virgo energy in your chart. And you all have Virgo energy somewhere in your chart. And whatever house you have Virgo in, this is how you operate in that house. So if it's the second house, it's your money. If it's your seventh house, it's your relationships. If it's the ninth house, this is how you do your belief systems. And if I was just going to say, go get my Virgo masterclass, and you can get it at shopsoulnavigation.com, and you can see all my masterclasses in there. They're really long. Like if you have a long road trip, get that masterclass and listen to it. Take me for a long walk. But for partners that thrive on passion and whimsy, and Virgo's need for structure can really feel like it's suffocating or stifling. They don't do spontaneity, and chaos and even emotional drama can unsettle them. Like they just can't deal. There's a seriousness, right? There's a seriousness, like we need to be orderly. So I'm just telling you, if you thrive on this passionate spontaneity, Virgos are going to feel like they're really cutting you off at the knees. And so the pressure to conform to their routines and expectations can make the relationship feel too rigid or suffocating. And when I say the pressure to conform, I mean the person who is involved with the Virgo, especially um, when you are in a moment that needs improvisation or intuition or just emotional openness or like spontaneous fun, right? That's not where Virgo is going to shine. And if you ever try to surprise a Virgo, like breakfast in bed, woo, or a surprise party, don't be alarmed if they pause to run, a diagnostic on the French toast you made. Like, is this fully cooked? Did you cook the egg all the way through? Right. And they're going to really start getting on your case if that egg was not done on the French toast for future egg doneness. Did you make my egg well cooked? Right. It's just their way of showing that they care. I know. Okay. Number 8. Virgos have um difficulty in forgiving, and they long for harmony, and they long for improvement, they long for efficiency, they long for better systems in place. And so they have a difficult time letting go when they feel like they've been betrayed or they've been hurt or they've been jilted or they've been lied to. Oh my God. And they can replay these like slights and these misunderstandings in their minds, turning, minor, little tiny minor issues into major wounds. This is the sign that can really spin out. And their tendency to remember every single thing you did wrong, every single misstep, can make it difficult to move forward after arguments by, you know, trapping the relationship in cycles of regret and apology, regret and apology, regret and apology. Think about if you were filled with shame and they got indoctrinated into shame. And it probably started on day one of their birth. I'm not joking. And they got indoctrinated into feeling guilty for probably breathing or existing or not being good enough, not being smart enough, not being a boy, not being a girl, whatever. I wanted a boy and you're a girl. Yeah. So I'm just going to tell you that they can get trapped inside a cycle of regret and apology. And that can end up being your whole relationship: regret, disappointment, apology, shame, right? So you've got to help your Virgo dance in the limelight, dance in the spotlight, and shed some of the desire to control everything. So, like, if you leave a sock out of place, don't be surprised if your Virgo partner organizes a search party for the sock, kind of berating you for losing your socks, and giving you a motivational speech about sock unity. Okay, we are going to pin your socks together now, right? They're going to start to improve the system to never lose a sock. We're going to pin your socks together in before you put them in the wash. What? You didn't pin your socks together? Of course you lost another sock. Where are all those missing socks? That's what I want to know, right? So I think another pitfall is that Virgos really sacrifice themselves for others. Mm-hmm. So beneath their practicality, Virgos are really compassionate and they often don't say no, and they put other people's needs before their own. And while the selflessness is admirable and it can even make you a full-blown codependent, this is this is like skating on thin ice, to tell you the truth. I mean, they could neglect their own well-being, and they could even suppress their own desires, needs, passions to keep the peace. And let me just tell you, they have fragile systems. They do. They have a fragile, like, disposition inside. And so it can make them very, very sick. And they don't like being sick. They don't even like saying that they're sick, and they ignore that they're sick. And this could cost their partnership a lot. Like, if you topple, then we topple. But over time, they can get very resentful, and they can have these like unspoken grievances for you. And there is a pain for both them and their partners because they are giving too much and you're just on the receiving end, and you didn't realize that they were growing resentment over giving you so much. And so they grow distant, and the distance is not understood. Like, the root cause is not seen by the other partner. So even in the quietest of moments, Virgos are intent on smoothing out the wrinkles. They're the great iron in the zodiac, where they want to iron out the wrinkles. And sometimes they miss the comfort and the peace of just letting things be. I was going to say dirty, just letting things be. Like, dishes can be dirty in the sink for a little while, even if they don't get washed until the morning. Nobody's going to die. Nobody's going to die. So, number 10, I would say it is like unanswered expressions of love. And I kind of touched on this, but I just want to go back to it because I think this is where Virgos really get misunderstood. Virgos are going to express love in practical ways. Yes. And what I mean by this is they are going to love you through service, through supporting you, through small daily gestures. They're going to vacuum your carpets, maybe fold your laundry. They might water your plants. They might be like very helpful to you. And oh my God, I have been on the beneficial end of Virgo loving me by taking care of me. And I will tell you, it is one of my very favorite things. They take very, very good care of you when they love you. And when you're involved with healthy Virgos, which I am, I have to say, like, it is just so sweet because they think of solutions for your problems when you didn't even know you had a problem. They're just wonderful that way. So they do these gestures of love that are very pragmatic and practical. And if you're not a very practical person, it is just such a gift. But they will struggle with grand declarations and overt, displays of affection. And so they leave their partners a little bit insecure. Like, do you really love me? You haven't like said on a loudspeaker lately that you really love me. And they're like, oh, anybody who has to brag about their relationship online has a problem. Okay. Well, I thought maybe you could write me a happy birthday on social media, right? I want to be known. I want people to know you're with me. Are you embarrassed by me? Right? That's what happens. And so the understated style can be really misunderstood as indifference, as lack of passion, as why don't you want to be with me? Why have you lost interest in me? Why are you not having sex with me as often? And then this leads to massive heartache. So to truly love a Virgo, you're going to find yourself immersed in a relationship where ordinary tasks are elevated to ritual. Yes. And where each interaction carries a layer of thoughtful intention. Yes. It's really true. And the beauty and the pain are kind of inseparable, woven together in a way that they notice what others have overlooked. They notice what you're not paying attention to, and they are your parachute over and over and over again. And this is their devotion. And this is how you should measure their devotion, in these acts of service, like I took your clothes to the dry cleaner, rather than in the fireworks, right? And that is what fireworks is for them. So that's kind of how they want to be loved as well. But in the quiet dawn of light, you will see that this gentle constancy of sharing chores, sharing the daily routine, is how they will love you the most. That is how they will hug you. So partners sometimes ache for these impromptu confessions of love and dramatic gestures, not realizing that Virgo's affections are kind of encoded into, like Morse code, into everyday, every everyday routines. A cup of tea, the way you like your coffee. Anyways, I just want to say that they're not necessarily going to say, like, they feel like words mean nothing, actions mean everything. So the drive doesn't come from saying I love you. It's overtaken by just loving you instead, right? So you have to watch what they do, not what they say. And if your Virgo doesn't do much for you, you need to go see what else is in their chart, because Virgos will show you that they love you by helping you move. The Virgo is the only one that shows up with the truck on the day you have to move, and you're having a moving party with beer and pizza for all your friends that show up. Your Virgo shows up with the truck. They might be the only one that shows up, and they're like, we got this, right? And so they are the doers. So I would say, to love a Virgo is to accept not only the comfort of their steadfastness, but the occasional restraint, right? The occasional ache that comes with their restraint. And it's to grow together slowly over time in the spaces between words and within the details of daily life. Like, these are the people who want to have a relationship to do daily life with. And in time, what was once really painful, the missed overture, the quiet correction, all of that, the relentless pursuit of improvement, transforms into something else. And that is, it's evidence of their commitment, the proof of their care, and the foundation upon which a quiet but unbreakable joy is built. It's really true. So to love a Virgo is to fall for someone whose heart is this intricate, detailed puzzle, dazzling even in its complexity, yet sometimes agony to piece together. Have you ever done a puzzle that's just agonizing, right? Yeah. So leaving off on a positive note here, the pain and pitfalls that come with falling madly, deeply in love with a Virgo, I just want you to know, Virgos are not born of malice, but of depth, of quality, right, of diligence and of a desire for truthful love, everlasting love. They usually are not the players of the zodiac. They're not really trying to be the bullshit artist. Now, if they are a bullshit artist, go look and see how much Libra they have in their chart. Yeah, because a lot of Virgos have a lot of Libra in their chart. So remember, we don't do sun sign astrology here. You have to look at the whole chart. And while it can hurt, this love can also be a powerful transformation in your life, teaching you patience and resilience, thickening your skin, and also helping the Virgo realize that the actual beauty lies in the imperfection. And so when you accept them, flaws and all, when you see their ugly bits and you still love them, it softens the Virgo's critic. It really does. That's how you get, rather than reprimanding the Virgo's critic, just love their flaws, and then they will see that it's safe to love yours too. And so when both partners can really embrace Virgo's unique ways, he the critic, if you will, the relationship can really transcend the ordinary. And the pain in time becomes a part of the deeper, more enduring journey. So that is my Virgo pain and pitfalls video. And I hope so much that this has helped you understand your Virgo more deeply. And I hope that you will go enjoy all of my videos and learn deeper astrology with me here on my Soul Navigation Astrology and Tarot channel. And until also, I should also say, if you guys want to really learn about your chart more deeply, go get my starter package at shopsoulnavigation.com. It's affordable, it's easy, it supports the channel, it's awesome. I have tons of reports. The soul's design is incredible, and your unique chart rulers report, short and sweet, so you can understand the Virgo placements in your chart. All the placements in your chart would be really good. And if you want a reading here from me or someone who works on my team, you can just book a reading at soulnavigation.com. So wherever you're at in the world, from my house here in Seattle, Washington, United States, I wish you the very, very best. Take good care.